So this is what sickens me because, Mayor Pete, who, by the way, there was a whole scandal in South Bend. He fired the first black police commissioner there. The first black police commissioner there recorded audio that police were saying. Mayor Pete wouldn't allow the audio to be revealed. It was rumored that there was racial epithets said about the first black police commissioner. But now all of a sudden he's canceled his campaign events because a black man was shot and killed by the police, which I credit him. He went back to South Bend for this. He had to because he has a really, really, really bad numbers among black voters. But before that, he's doing fundraisers with Blackstone, who is the worst of the worst. Then you got Mr. Make America America Again, Joe Biden, who he's not even hiding it. He's not trying to get like small dollar donations. He's just trying to raise as much money as humanly possible from Wall Street scum. The same Joe Biden that says, it's not 500 billionaires destroying the country. Wall Street, they could have a positive influence on the country, Joe Biden said last week. Sounds a lot like Hillary Clinton saying behind closed doors, I think this is all just being politicized, your role in taking down the global financial system. I think you guys are just being persecuted. All these people lost their house. Like, why are you guys to blame? I think it's just a misunderstanding. But Joe Biden, the difference between Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden isn't trying to hide the fact that he's a servant to Wall Street. Like, those were private speeches, she said, and she did not want to release those transcripts. At least Joe Biden is allowing like some press members into these lavish fundraisers so that we could hear him figuratively do sexual favors for Wall Street. So, Joe Biden, Mr. Make America America Again, Mr. I'm hanging on for dear life to Barack Obama, and I'm just going to wrap my arms around former President Barack Obama and hope nobody looks at the crime bill and hope nobody looks at the racist shit I've said in the past. Joe Biden doing a fundraiser with infamous short-selling hedge fund manager James Chanos tonight. Mr. Chanos is holding an event for Mr. Biden. And Mr. Chanos, an infamous Wall Street scumbucket, Mr. Chanos is very tight with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, that bastion of progressivism. Governor Andrew Cuomo and billionaire hedge fund manager Jim Chanos are slated to join 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden in a fundraising effort in New York next month. This article is talking about the event tonight. The main stop on the former vice president's trip will be at the Upper East Side home of Chanos, a famed short seller, and it will be there where Cuomo will introduce Biden, CNBC reported. You want to know how much the home is worth that Mr. Make America America Again? Want to know how much that home is worth? Take a guess. Just take a guess. How much is this home worth that Joe Biden is going to be bending over backwards for Wall Street hedge funders tonight? James Chanos listed Upper East Side penthouse for $34 million. Beef. Talk about making America America again. Joe Biden is having the most patriotic fundraiser imaginable at a $34 million penthouse Upper East Side apartment. I mean, I can't think of anything more American than this. Anything more American. Ooh, I don't want to give the address. I mean, again, Joe Biden is not hiding the fact that he is transparently corrupt. He is a servant of Wall Street. When he was a Delaware senator, he was known as being paid off by the credit card companies. Thank you, George Piazza. Blackstone was Jeb Bush's biggest donor, and that's who Mayor Pete is doing fundraisers with. But you want to talk about electability? So let's just run Hillary Clinton with a penis if you're Joe Biden. Or, I mean, I don't know if Pete is necessarily the same as Hillary Clinton, But let's just run the same candidate who lost to an orange orangutan reality TV star, and we'll get different results this time. And I hope nobody finds it rude, but I haven't eaten much today, and I'm starting to eat blueberries more. I hear that you live longer. I hear that it's good vitamin C, and I hear that it helps your skin. So I'm eating blueberries. I hope nobody minds. So let's go to For the People Kamala Harris, too. Because obviously For the People Kamala Harris, she's not hanging out with these people, is she? Do you think For the People Kamala Harris is hanging with these scumbuckets? So not to be outdone by Joe Biden, by Mayor Pete. And tomorrow, Mark Lasry, the hedge fund manager and co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, the basketball team, is gathering checks for Miss Harris. Co-hosts of that event include Blair W. Efron, an investment bank co-founder and an influential Democratic financier, and Ray McGuire, vice chairman of Citigroup. Ugh. 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 I can't. Jen, are you in the super chat? Does that scream For the People? Does that scream for the people to you? After taking, I think she took a handprint with the managing director of Citigroup's puppy in her penthouse in Fifth Avenue a few weeks ago. So Kamala Harris did a fundraiser atop the managing director of Citigroup's penthouse, and she either took a selfie or a paw print with her dog. I don't remember. So if she's for the people, she's definitely for the hedge funders. She's definitely for the Wall Streeters. She's definitely for the people that are basically stealing the money from you. So now she's doing another fundraiser with Citigroup? Gee, I wonder how much money. I wonder what Kamala Harris is going to do as president. I truly, truly wonder what she's going to do as president to regulate Wall Street. I truly, truly wonder how quickly is she going to enact Medicare for all, considering all of these banks that are giving her money are heavily invested in Big Pharma. She must be very brave. She must be telling those Wall Street bankers that she's doing fundraisers with this week, cut it out. I told you, cut it out. Borrowing from Hillary Clinton. But you don't hear any of this on CNN. The Washington Post, no, they can't be bothered. They can't do. They can't. They got 4 or 5 negative stories on Bernie to do a day. They cannot be bothered. And by the way, while all of this is going on, while this train wreck is going, where's my Joe Biden train? While this train wreck that's going to lead to 4 more years of Donald Trump is coming, here's reality, folks. Here is the latest IPSOS, the Daily Beast /IPSOS. Here is Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Right there, he's beating, Joe Biden is currently head-to-head beating Donald Trump, 46% to 35%. Pretty good margin. Oh, wait, I thought Joe Biden was the most electable. Bernie Sanders, 47% to 35%. But I'm told Bernie Sanders has no chance. I'm told only Joe Biden is electable. Wait a minute. I thought you need to take Wall Street money to compete. I thought you need to bend over for Wall Street. I thought you need to bend over for fossil fuel companies. I thought you need to bend over for the financial industry. And these are the same numbers, by the way. These were basically identical numbers for Bernie against Trump in 2016. Hillary was only beating Trump by 4 or 5 points in most polls. And the thing about these polls to watch, 2 things. Number 1, you wait. You wait until Donald Trump starts calling Joe Biden NAFTA Joe. You wait till Donald Trump starts calling Joe Biden NAFTA Joe, TPP Joe, and all of these things. You wait till his stock starts dropping quickly, particularly in the Midwest. Because Joe Biden is the same exact record as Hillary Clinton, only worse. His record is worse than Hillary Clinton. So as Joe Biden's numbers against Donald Trump go down, and they will, I also think they're going to go down because I think Joe Biden is not a good debater. I think Joe Biden is an arrogant son of a gun. And when he's challenged on things like the crime bill, when he's challenged on things like welfare reform, when he's challenged on the Iraq war, when he's challenged on the bankruptcy bill, when he's challenged on anything, his answers are occasionally very Trumpian because he can't admit when he's done wrong. But another element that's even more important to these polls, and I have Colin making a graphic of all the corporate media burying their heads in the sand. We'll have that for you tomorrow. Bernie is doing better against Donald Trump than Joe Biden is. And most of these polls undersample voters under the age of 50. Meaning, Bernie Sanders, head-to-head, is beating Donald Trump by 12 points. And these polls don't even have an equal distribution of voters under 50 to over 50, which means Bernie Sanders, there's nothing, no one can argue against this. Bernie Sanders is the general election nominee, the Democratic nominee, would bring out the biggest and probably highest voter turnout among young people, among millennials, age under 50, probably since maybe the 1970s. But let's bury our head in our sand. Let's bury our head in the sand. If you're the Washington Post, what did Jennifer Rubin write? She wrote, totally. Oh, wait, I actually tweeted about this earlier. Let me find it. So Jennifer Rubin seems to look at these numbers. She writes about 3 or 4 negative stories about Bernie Sanders a week. Up, former Vice President Joe Biden in one-on-one matchups with President Trump. Down, Trump polling against a whole bunch of Democratic nominees. Up, the debate lineup for the second night. Down, avoiding the kiddie table. So how is it that Joe Biden is up in one-on-one matchups with President Trump, but when you have Bernie Sanders beating Trump in a wider margin in some polls than Joe Biden is I guess Bernie Sanders, instead of up, he's sideways? I mean, this isn't media bias, folks. These are media lies. The Washington Post is purposely lying to its audience to prop up Joe Biden. The bottom line is, Bernard Sanders is doing as well against Donald Trump as Joe Biden. He's not doing as well against Donald Trump like suddenly today. These are consistent polls since 2016. It hasn't moved. He's been beating Donald Trump between 10 and 15 points for 3.5 years. Yet we're told he's not electable. It would be a landslide. So I kind of feel like there's some type of corporate media, shall I say, machine to stop Bernie Sanders. And I would like to see, frankly, Bernie Sanders' campaign come out a little bit more forceful against the media. I would like to see them call out the fact that the media is basically giving Joe Biden not equal, but they're giving him a lot of free airtime based on nothing. The media doesn't even report accurately that the polls are all inflated for Joe Biden because they're barely sampling they're barely polling anyone under the age of 50. Gee, Joe Biden's beating Bernie Sanders by 20 points when you're basically polling people that are on dialysis? Go figure. No offense to anyone on dialysis.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.